G'day there guys, Markee here, back again with another episode of r/MaliciousCompliance. Now if you love this kind of content, I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the quality content coming your way. Posted by user Wibbly Wobbly, titled, "A bar near me found a hilarious loophole to get around noise complaints and keep hosting live music." So a bar in town used to host live bands all the time until one of the neighbors complained about the noise. It turns out the zoning rules didn't allow them to have live music and they almost got shut down. The bar owner read over said zoning rules and noticed that the wording forbade them to have live music indoors, but they could have it outdoors. So they moved the stage to the patio section where it would be even louder for the neighbors and still be legal. They still have live music sometimes, but not nearly as often as they used to. Don't want to push their luck, I guess. Posted by user TrexMoFlex, titled, "My friend is a manager for Costco at the membership and returns counter." Costco has a pretty relaxed return policy, so 99% of the time, customers bring in things to return or exchange. My friend says it's no questions asked. But if on the computer system he notices in someone's transaction history that they're abusing the system, he'll deny the return and offer a pretty clear explanation as to why. Honestly, most people don't raise a big stink. The evidence is pretty clear and they say, "Okay, I didn't know that's how it worked," and go on with their lives. But last week, a customer was getting upset that my friend wasn't going to do a return, even though there was a long list of transactions that made it pretty obvious this guy was routinely buying things, using them a few times as needed, then returning them. In this case, he had bought a bunch of food and was trying to return the packaging for full returns. He's not backing down. My friend has full authority to cancel a membership, and this comes with a refund most of the time. So he tells the guy, "Sir, it doesn't seem like you're happy with our products and services. I'm going to go ahead and cancel your membership and give you a full refund of the annual fee." The guy, immediately understanding that this means he won't be allowed back in Costco, sits kind of stunned for a few seconds, then gets real panicky like, No, I'm good, please don't do that." My friend isn't backing down, so the guy asks to speak to a manager. Friend plays the whole, "I am the manager of this department," so the guy escalates. The assistant warehouse manager comes over and looks at the transaction history and immediately sides with my friend, saying virtually the same thing but in a super sing-songy, "We're sorry you haven't been happy with the products we sell," and backs my friend up while he finishes cancelling the guy's membership. Lamau? Posted by user Yog Sithoth, titled, "The Tale of How I Got Paid for a Month to Do Nothing." Right after school, me and the other 3 students with maximum grades got hired immediately in an airport company. Our job was to run a simulation program in order to train some specialized personnel. The job is quite easy. It's basically a set of exercises or routines run over and over on the simulator, and it's really well paid for an 18-year-old's first job. The only problem is that the program for the simulation was incredibly clunky and slow, and the actual routines had to be prepared on another machine entirely. And the fun part, apparently no one knows precisely how to create these exercises. We just had to run the simulator, so we just received these exercises, load them onto the simulator, and press start. But 60% of the time they didn't work at all, and that was infuriating and wasted a lot of time. So we, the young smart guys, jump off board and decided to help out, actually spending a lot of our free time helping creating these routines and trying to fix the common problems. Well, the percentage of functioning routines jumped up to almost 100%, and the simulator ran smoothly for months. My boss at the time was one of the best human beings I've ever known. And surprise to no one, he was promoted. His substitute, on the other hand, was one of the worst human beings I've ever known, and surprise to no one, he screwed up. I will just focus on the part that concerns me, but he screwed up all around. One day, one of the routines wasn't working out at all, and we just couldn't figure out why. Our boss gets cold because half a day has gone wasted already. Instead of trying to help, he just jumps up and starts yelling that we're incompetents in front of all the other people. He goes on a long rant which doesn't solve anything, and the training day was called off. Now is when I remembered that my job is to run the simulator, not to create the routines. So, malicious compliance kicks in, and well, after that day, we just stopped giving a crap. Now, every day, if the new exercises comes in and doesn't work, we just send it back and wait for a functioning one, which sometimes doesn't arrive at all. This happened a lot, and I actually spent literally months at work, being paid to do nothing, using the time studying for university at the workplace. And the best part is that my boss was fuming because the training schedule went to crap and he couldn't do nothing at all. After some time, the boss's boss noticed that something was clearly very wrong, went into his office and absolutely trashed the guy. Then the boss's boss came to us and asked if we wanted to do the extra job of creating the routines for an extra payment, and we said yes, since we already knew what to do. Our boss didn't say anything at all after that, so basically I got a long paid vacation and went back to work with a higher salary. It was glorious. Edit, as very few of you have said, it's spelled paid. I'd like to point out that English is my third language and the school was science related. I'm leaving the mistakes so this very few comments and the subsequent heartwarming insults they received still make sense. Posted by user JavanDep_NL, titled, Karen wants me to weigh her candy at the movie theater. English is not my native language, so apologies in advance. This also happened a couple months ago. Having worked during college at the local movie theater, I came across all kinds of Karens. In this particular case, Karen went to the movies with her 2 kids, around the ages of 4 to 5. As you guys know, movie theaters have high prices for snacks and drinks. It was Sunday morning, and usually this is a busy time with a lot of small children and kids' movies. It's obvious that I'm dealing with a total Karen straight from the get-go, keeping on her sunglasses, chewing gum, and being on her phone the entire time she's waiting in line. When it's her turn, I think to myself, OP, your shift just started, just be nice, and maybe this will all go over smoothly. Pro tip, it did not. Karen is annoyed by the prices of the tickets. You can buy the tickets and your snacks at the same register, and is not happy with the assortment of healthy snacks. I'm still there, trying to keep up my best smile like I'm the fudging Joker in a low-budget Batman movie, but I'm getting through her order. Now for the little children. As they were acting like dogs running around the place, I will name them like dogs. So child 1 is Ollie and child 2 is Rex. Note, where I'm from, we have a display where you can scoop your own candy in a bag for a fixed price per 100 grams, 3.5 ounces. Being a movie theater, this is crazy expensive, and a full bag can cost around €16, or around $17.50. They say, Mommy, can we scoop some candy? How much for the candy? It's €150 per 100 grams. Yes, Ollie, hurry up with the candy. Mom, I want some candy too. And she says nothing. Ollie, help your brother get his candy. Sorry, she did say something. At this point, she already spent way too much time in line. Normally, you scoop the candy before you make your purchase to prevent that transaction taking an extremely long time, and we can help other customers. Not for Miss Karen though. She just goes back to texting on her phone. I'm baffled, annoyed, and just want to go help other customers because the movie is starting in 15 minutes, and the lines for the registers are not moving at all. So me, the good Samaritan that I am, try to eyeball the bag of candy Ollie has, so that I can get a rough estimate how much the candy will cost. To the enjoyment, I see the kid with an enormous bag of candy, almost the size of his head. So I estimate that it'll be around €15. Rex, his bag isn't that full, but he's still scooping, and I think to myself, realistically the price will be higher, but I just want this to be over and I don't want to overprice them. I say the total will be €44. What? Why is it so expensive? Miss, the candy weighs a lot and the price. But you didn't even weigh it, you're just trying to rip me off. Weigh it and give me the correct price, she says, as she grabs the bag from Ollie and Rex. Well, she was correct. I didn't weigh it, but I wasn't trying to rip her off. Heck, I was giving her a huge discount. So I smiled to her and grabbed the bags of candy and put them on the scale. I can see the price and so can the customer. Sure, miss, as you can see, the price of the candy costs €24, so your total will be €53. So of course, Karen gets angry and wants me to call the manager because I'm still ripping her off. The manager comes along, weighs the candy, and confirms that the correct price is €53. Because you have to pay the candy when you grab it because of the hygiene rules, and there is a big fudging sign. Karen eventually buys everything and walks away angry with her kids. Luckily for me, the manager was a nice dude, so I didn't get into trouble for guessing the weight. And at the end of the shift, I was glad I could ruin a movie experience for a Karen. Posted by user KC1328, titled, "Can't be visibly doing nothing, it affects employees' morale. No problem." My buddy and I were hired to be a glorified help desk support, handholders for a special project. Senior management at a large corporation had their laptops upgraded, including new software that they never used, and major upgrades of software they had previously used. We're talking about maybe 20 people spread across 3 buildings downtown, all within walking distance of each other. My job was to sit in an office and take calls for any issue, and I mean any issue that popped into their head. The only thing more entitled than senior management are their admin people. My buddy's job was to actually go to their desk and hold their hand with whatever issue they had. Oh, and read the bullcrap manual was not part of the support plan. Smiley face. He was great at it. After the first couple of weeks, things settled down, and we received very few calls. So my buddy was sitting at some desk doing nothing, and after a few days, one of the admin assistants complained that he was doing nothing, bad influence on those around him. We asked for a different desk, but none was to be found. He tried looking busy, writing up documentation. The same person complained, saying his job is support. So if he's not supporting, everyone knows he is doing nothing, and that looks bad. Bad for morale. What the hell? He technically doesn't even work for your company. So I realized that our service level agreement said we had to respond within 30 minutes. It was always much less, especially if he was in the building. So I told my buddy to screw off, go shopping, sit in Starbucks, and read the paper. No one but me knew where my buddy was at any time, and I was the only one who dispatched him. So I said to my buddy, "Do whatever you want, as long as you drop what you're doing and be at the person's desk within 30 minutes. And if they called for help, occasionally they would ask how long it would take. I would say, our SLA is 30 minutes. He will be here before then. And sometimes they would say, isn't he in the building? And whatever building the person was calling from, I would say he is in the other building furthest from him. And they would never check with anyone at the other building. They really had no way of knowing where he was. Only I did. That was my job. So my buddy went to the movies, went clothes shopping, shoes shopping, sat in the park, etc. The busybody admin assistant called about a problem one day and said, "I never see him at his desk anymore. Where is he?" I said, "He's much busier now. His morale, and I'm sure your staff's morale, must be much better now." No one ever found out about our malicious compliance. The managers he helped loved him and wanted him to stay on. He said no until they tripled what he was making. About a year later, he was made a manager, and about 6 months after that, he had the admin assistant fired. The morale really improved around there after that. Posted by user Badolf Hotler, titled, "They told me to clock out when I go to the bathroom, so I did." I was a dishwasher for a local pizza joint. Not the most respectable of jobs, but hey, money's money. I'm a damn good worker. I show up 10 minutes early every day, never take off, and I get crap done. I can put up with a lot of nonsense, but this place was getting to me. One thing after another. Most importantly, the manager was the most snarky, condescending man I have ever met. This is important to the story. I have IBS issues, but it's never a problem because I use the bathroom before work. Today, I needed to use the restroom during work hours, which I don't usually do. I was in there for 10 minutes tops. The place was a ghost town. I didn't even have a fork to wash. I would literally stand there waiting for something to be used so I can clean it. I came out of the restroom and was curtly informed that I needed to clock out next time I used the restroom. What? Okay, fine. I laughed it off and said I would comply. I just wanted to continue my shift and mind my own business. Here's the fun part. The manager and assistant manager decided it would be a fun game to make fun of me. They are adults, mind you. Hence the snarky, condescending part. They were loudly talking behind my back, intentionally so I could hear them, and said something along the lines of, "Yeah, Opie thinks it's funny that I told them to clock out when they use the restroom." So I turned from what I was doing, literally standing there waiting for dirty dishes, and look at them in disbelief. Two grown men thought it would be funny to poke fun at the dishwasher. They look at me and say, "Isn't that funny, OP?" I say, "No, I don't find this funny at all," and turn back to my incredibly busy post. The manager then proceeds to gleefully sing out, "Hey! I'm clocking out to use the restroom. Just wanted to let everyone know." This was typical for this guy. Last straw. Right as I was getting busy during dinner, when I would usually be swamped with dishes, I go to the manager. I say, "Hey, just wanted to let you know I was clocking out to use the bathroom." He was busy, so he just gave me the look of, "Okay, you can go potty now." And I said I would be returning home to use the toilets at my house, and that I shouldn't be a problem since I was off the clock. He started to argue, and I just left. Not my problem, since I was off the clock. Screw that guy. I may get some crap for leaving them in the lurch, but I honestly don't feel bad. They had it coming. This was only one instance of my patience being tested by this snarky-ass munch of a man. In the off chance that he uses Reddit and recognizes me, you are a snarky, condescending butt munch. Just wanted to make that clear and direct, just in case. Edit. Wow, everybody has mad respect for dishwashers. Thanks for the kind words and gold. Edit 2. This got way more attention than expected. Thanks everyone so much for your kind words. This happened a few months ago, and I have a very wonderful job now with people who respect me. I was in a bad place at the time, so I needed to stick with that and deal with their bullcrap. But that was the last straw. To those saying I could have a legal case, USA by the way, you may be right, and it would give me so much satisfaction to see them gone. But they're already struggling, and if they shut down, I would feel seriously bad for the good waitresses that work there. Plus, I'm pretty sure I would have an angry mob at my house with pitchforks because I shut down one of the only eating places in my small town. Don't mess with Ma Pizza. I'll take it into consideration though, if I happen to somehow cross paths with them again, or end up in a similar situation. To the people who have nothing but respect for dishwashing or similar jobs, good on you. I guess I never really thought about it, and always viewed the jobs I did as deplorable and deserving of less respect, though I guess that was more of a I don't respect myself kind of deal. This post has made me realize that if you're going to give it your all, you deserve all the damn respect that everyone else gets, and screw those who say different. Y'all have brightened my day. Thanks. Posted by user That Tired Potato, titled, "Ask you what to do and never just do something? Okay, prepare for a million questions." I've had the same job for 2 years now in a flower shop. I've worked with almost the exact same co-workers, done the exact same job, 5 days a week, so I'm pretty confident I can make certain judgment calls on what to do when I'm not faced with 100 unprocessed flowers. Even coming back to work after 2 months of quarantine barely changed my confidence. My supervisor seemed to disagree. All names changed for privacy. After I had finished making rose bouquets for the floor, there wasn't much else to do other than tying and packing the leis, Hawaiian flower necklace, that just came in, or wait for my boss to come back from his meeting to know what else he wanted prepped for the sales floor. Obviously, I started tying leis. My supervisor Cheryl almost immediately stopped me and asked me what I was doing. After I responded, she said, "We don't need those yet, so don't do those. Just wait for me to tell you what to do next time, or ask me first before you do anything." Anything? Yes, anything. I shrug, shuffle my feet, and decide to have some fun. I ask her what she needs done, and she wants me to tie a different type of lei. Okay, deal. I tie the leis. Do you want me to pack these, or do something else? She looks at me like I'm stupid, then tells me to pack them. What container do you want them in? The same they always go in. Go figure, I pack them. Do you want me to leave them on this table or put them on the floor? Leave them on the table. Okay, so what should I do next? And so on, with almost every variety of lei we carry. At one point she asked me to pack the dyed orchid leis, but put some in smaller containers for a specific store, so we don't have to repack them from this medium container later. So do you have like a specific number in mind? 3 of each? 10 total? Specific numbers for each color? I knew at that moment I got her, because it was like the light had left her eyes as she told me 3 of each, which is what we usually do. She hasn't given me any flack since then whenever I find something for me to do. Posted by user TBoneXXIV, titled, "You can't park there?" Okay, you can, but it will cost you. My parents had this problem with a guy parking a tractor trailer on their land. He lives right across from one of their pecan groves. The grove has well-spaced trees, all in neat rows. The grass is mowed super short, the ground is really flat. It looks like an ideal place to put your rig if you don't know better. The ground is so flat because they use mechanical harvesting. Bumps and grooves can cause the machines to leave pecans laying on the ground. A 2-inch deep groove from a big truck like that can hold thousands of dollars of pecans and will until it is fixed. Oh, and you have to get them up by hand. It's a big deal when someone screws with your livelihood like that. So the guy parks there one time. They get it. He probably doesn't understand he is causing so much trouble. Dad goes down, explains the damage he has done, tells him the grove is private property and not to do it again. Dude, we'll call him Dude, agrees, apologizes. Dad goes home, fixes the damage mid-week. Next Friday, there is a truck again, same spot. Dad, not about to put up with this, calls the sheriff's department. The cop comes, truck moves, Dad fixes damage mid-week. Next week, no truck. 1 week later, truck is back. Repeat complaint for trespassing to sheriff. Dude claims he forgot. He drives over the road and his Home Depot where his car is parked is 30 miles away. It is convenient for Dude to forget because he saves his gas and time by driving his employer's rig and parking it on my parents' land. Also, he doesn't get nailed if his cab isn't clean. No other driver gets assigned his truck. There are plain motivations. Dude clearly does not forget every time he is home, but this is what he claims to the deputies sent out on the complaints. After 7 times, the sheriff's department is called. He finally gets a trespassing citation. No fine is levied, drives his car 2 weeks in a row. Following week, truck is back. At this point, my dad has fixed his damage so often that he is keeping a tractor and blade on the property so it gets done faster and easier. Calls the sheriff yet again. The sheriff himself comes out this time. Truck leaves, sheriff comes to see my dad. Says the enforcement problem is that it's hard to explain to a court the harm when pictures hardly show any damage and Dude always apologizes and moves the truck when deputies come. Says getting Dude for trespassing under those circumstances is going to be tough, but he is on this and he will see it through for my parents. But his office is 30 miles away. Not that many deputies to be out patrolling, etc. And then the sheriff, bless his little elected heart, says, but if there was something different like a theft of services going on, ... Cue malicious compliance. The next day, signs go up on 80 trees in a row. 8,000 feet, they are 100 feet apart. Semi-parking, $500 an hour, prepay. Violators will be towed. Dude doesn't pay the signs any mind. Dude does, however, pay the tow truck and deputy quite a bit of mind. Comes running and screaming, waving his arms as they are hooking up. Well, before my dad called to have him towed, everything was documented, including having the sheriff himself drive by and take several pictures of the truck parked with the clearly visible signs. Everything is put on hold while Dude's employer, who owns the truck, drives out. After 3 hours, Dude's boss gives up and writes a check for $7,800 to cover parking and tow truck fees. That actually covered the tow truck, all the repairs, printing the signs, and beer for about a year for my dad's Tuesday poker gathering. Salut. Dude, who still lives there, does not park in the Pecan Grove. His boss's payroll deducted as checks for 2 years. Jesus. G'day there guys, Outro Markee here. Hope you enjoyed the episode as much as I enjoyed making it today. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you thought about it down below. Also, if you like memes, be sure to head on over to my second channel, Markee 2. It should be one of the sexy Australian faces on screen, the one without the flag. It's my latest and greatest creation, and I hope you like it. Also, I'd like to give a huge shout out to my channel members and Patreon subscribers. You guys do so much good for me, and the support goes without saying, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I love you guys, and I appreciate all the help and support you provide me on this channel. Also, if you want to join the family, links are down in the description below, or click that join button next to the subscribe button. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed that one today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.